What's going on, guys? It is Shay here. Welcome back to another video, and today, everybody, I'm going to be doing my very own tier list of the masks from Hotline Miami 1 from the first game. And we have 23 masks to choose here, or to rank here. And really funny, but I'm pretty sure this probably applies with everyone, but I have either only used a mask once, or some of these masks only once, or I've never even used them. So let's go on ahead and get right on into this. So yeah, with that being said, let's begin. So the first mask that we have here is Aubrey, which is a pig mask, and it gives you the ability, or gives you a wider selection of firearms. Now, when it comes to these masks, because there's only two masks in the game that does this, that's Aubrey and Charlie. And if I had to choose between it, I would probably want to use Charlie instead of Aubrey. But I don't know, if you really like, of course, everyone likes shooting people in Hotline Miami, but if you want to like have a wider selection of guns and all that stuff, then I could really see Aubrey going to like, an A or an S. But me personally, like, this is gonna be, of course, based off my own opinion, of course. But because of that, if I had to rank Aubrey, I would put it at maybe a B, because I mean, hell, for it to be giving you, like, if we're to say more guns, quote unquote more guns, then it should give you, like shotguns, like all guns, like, it just gives you, like, from whenever I play Aubrey, I always just get shotguns, ARs, and all that stuff. I never get other weapons, like other firearms, like the revolver, the silenced handgun, all that stuff. I don't get those weapons, like, whenever I play Aubrey, or I don't see them. So that's where the mask is going to be going to. So the next mask that we have here is Brandon, which is if I'm correct, this is a Panther, and it gives you the ability to walk even faster. Now, there's already one mask down here that gives you the ability to walk faster, and that's Graham, which is this mask right here where my mouse is. But I like Brandon a lot more. It's really funny because I don't think I've ever played Graham, but we haven't gotten to that mask yet. But for Brandon, I have played Brandon a few times, and when it comes to if you're like a speed running sweat kinda, or that type of person, then I could really see them either being a Brandon main or something else entirely, maybe a Zach main, I'm not sure. But me personally, Brandon is gonna have to go in an S tier. I love Brandon. The mask is very fun to use. I love the mask, dude, and I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of people who main Brandon or main that mask in the fight, who play, the first game. But I really like playing Brandon because it gives you the ability to speed run levels. Pretty much gives you the ability to speed run levels, even though you can do it with other levels or with other masks and all that stuff. So the next mask that we have here is Carl, which, Carl, why did I say it like that for? I said it like Rick Grimes, but Carl gives you the ability to start off with a drill. It's one of the very few masks that gives you the ability, to start off with a weapon. But I'm not a big fan of Carl. I have played Carl before, especially for, Chapter 8, Push It. I have played on that level specifically because that was the level that the original owner of the mask, which was more than likely, his name was more than likely Carl, that's where he died, and that's where you get the mask from. I should also point out that I should, like, tell everyone where the masks are and all that stuff, or like, kind of in an order. I don't know, for Brandon, I think you can just unlock Brandon, but for Carl, you find the mask in Chapter 8. Which is Push It. And I'm not a big fan of the mask. I mean, you can do ground execution with the drill, yeah, but, it's just like it's like just your ordinary gun or anything. So I would probably put Carl at a C. So the next mask that we have here is Charlie, which is one of my more personal favorite masks. Now, I know a lot of people do not use Charlie, and I hear from some people that, no one uses Charlie, but me personally, I like using Charlie. It's one of my favorite masks in the game because I like using melee weapons in the game, specifically the knife. But I don't know, like, I like using Charlie. If it's between Aubrey and Charlie, I'll use Charlie because it gives me a wider range of a wider range of melee weapons. And you get like the fucking pipe, katana, all that stuff. So I'm gonna have to put Charlie at an S tier in my opinion. I really love the mask. So the next mask that we have here is Dennis, which is my personal favorite mask in the first game, and one of my all-time favorite masks in the game. Because mostly, I don't know what's with starting with the knife, because I said this is one of the only other masks you can start off with a weapon, and you can start off with the knife with using Dennis. I love this mask. I don't know. I fucking love the mask. I don't know what this mask is supposed to be. Also, I forgot to mention, for the Charlie mask, you find the mask in Bikers levels, in the very first level, actually, which is Safe House. Over there in the Chinese restaurant, you know, on the desk where, you know, behind that little desk thing or whatever, after you finish the level, you'll find a Charlie mask. But for Dennis, you just unlock the mask, of course. But I really love Dennis, dude. I love the mask, and I don't even know why. Maybe it's because you can start off with a knife. So yeah, the next mask that we have here is Don Juan, which is, it gives you the ability to pretty much kill people by, you know, hitting them with doors. So yeah, it gives you the ability, like, you know, when you're running into someone, like, say for instance on Hot and Heavy, for example, that level, you know, chapter 11, or not chapter 11, chapter 10, I meant, sorry. You know, the first dude that's at the door, hit him in there, like, hit the fucking door, and you know, he'll just be dead. So even though it won't sound like it like the person behind the door died, they do if you start seeing blood, of course. But I don't use Don Juan enough. I use Don Juan at times, but I mean, it's a good mask. A lot of these masks can be used to pull off a lot of very good plays. I think every mask in the game can be pulled off. Like, you know, you can use to pull off a good play. But if I had to rank Don Juan, I would probably go at a B. So the next mask that we have here is Earl, which gives you the ability to survive 2 bullets. And I don't use Earl, I will say. I've used them, I think I've used Earl twice, and I've never used him ever again. It's kind of cool. I mean, I don't really understand it because sometimes you can already survive a few bullets, like, already in the game. You can only at most survive 1. But yeah, and for Earl, you can find a mask. It's one of the very first masks, like, you know, the ones you can find, like, in levels. It's the very first one you can find, actually, and you can find it, if I'm correct, it is in, what the hell is it? Overdose, the second chapter, in that room where the dead dude is, you know, they're in a chair or whatever. Me personally, I would probably have to put Earl at a C. I don't really see the whole use behind him because you can already survive getting shot in the game sometimes. But, I mean, I guess it does help a little bit, or, I don't know, maybe it makes you more immune to bullets, I don't fucking know. So the next mask that we have here is George, which gives you the ability to look further. I don't understand using George. If not, I've only used him once to test him out, and I don't think I've ever played through a full level as him, if I'm correct. I don't think I have, but I don't use, what the hell? I don't use George for, you know, because, I mean, the levels are, like, the maps for the levels are already small, so I don't really see the point of using George. Unless maybe to see enemies, but I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna put George at a D. That's our first mask going at a D. So the next mask that we have here is Graham, which is the first mask that gives you the ability to run faster. Or it gives you the ability to, you know, walk fast or whatever. And you don't unlock this, you unlock it, I'm gonna say you don't find it. You unlock this just, you know, through the game or whatever. I think I've only used Graham once, and that was it. And Graham is okay, but Brandon is, like, way superior to that. I'm sorry. So the next mask that we have here is Jake, which gives you the ability to kill people by throwing weapons at them. For some weapons, like the knife, I think it's not the only weapon that can kill if you throw a weapon at them without using Jake. But I actually like using Jake, and especially in the first game. Now, Jake as the character from the second game, not really, but I really like using, you know, the Jake mask in the first game. Yeah, and I don't know, dude, like, it's so cool just fucking throwing weapons at people, especially in the bonus chapter, which is exposed, and in that fucking chapter, it is like, you know, it comes in such handy. So I'm gonna have to put Jake at an A tier. So the next mask that we have here is Jones, which it gives you the ability to pretty much have more gore. Now I remember I saw like a comment on a video someone else's Hotline Miami mask tier list, where apparently they saying like Jones is the equivalent of Richard. Like they both don't really have a buff or a nerf or anything, or don't give you like more abilities or anything like that. Doesn't make you faster, doesn't give you a weapon off rip or anything. It pretty much is just like, you know, Richard. It gives you nothing. It's just gives you more gore. And I don't know why, but I really like using the Jones mask for some reason. But I don't know. I just find it funny to use. But I'm gonna put Jones at probably a D tier. I mean, it's kind of okay. Also, I forgot to mention, I might probably forget a lot. But for the Jake mask, you can find him. I don't know what level. I think it's Hot and Heavy, where you can find Jake dead in the fucking room where he got shot in the head by that dude. And for Jones, you can find the mask in the sewer. I think on Full House, chapter 5. So yeah. The next mask that we have here is Louis, which makes you harder to spy, or makes you just hard to spy. I think I've used Louis once, and I think the mask is complete bullshit, or maybe I just didn't use the mask all that well. So it's going to a D tier. Maybe I'm not using the mask right, because I said I've only used the mask once. So maybe it's because I'm not using the mask right, because I remember I was like I think I stood like around a corner or something like that, or maybe I was standing out in the open and the dude still killed me. I don't know. The next mask that we have here is Nigel. This is a very interesting mask. It gives you the ability, or it gives you reverse controls. And I have played, I have used Nigel before, and I say it's a lot harder to use on PlayStation than it is on a computer, even though I don't play a game on a computer, which I'm really hoping to one day. But yeah, Nigel is more of a meme mask. I do know some people genuinely use Nigel as like a mask that they would use. But me personally, I don't. I don't like whenever my controls get like, when they get reversed, I get really annoyed by that. I only did it to complete one level to get an achievement. That's the only reason why I ever used the mask, and I've never used it ever since. The next mask that we have here is Oscar. This gives you pretty much just darkness. And I don't even, what the hell even is the mask even supposed to be based off? I was thinking I don't know why I was thinking a platypus for some reason. But I don't even know what this mask is supposed to be based off, but it pretty much just makes your whole level dark, and it makes you pretty much harder to spy. I think it's like a more buffed version of Louis. It makes you a lot harder to spot and all that stuff, but I don't know. Oscar will more likely go down here, even though there's some people out there who genuinely main Oscar. The next mask that we have here is Peter, which gives you the ability to make your gunshots quieter. I think I used Peter twice, and as I said, from what I thought about with the Louis mask, I always felt like this mask was bullshit, because like maybe, I don't know, maybe they're just slightly quieter. I have no idea, but I'm gonna put Peter at a D tier. The next mask that we have here is Phil. This gives you the ability to pretty much just translate whatever someone's saying in French. And I don't know what this is for. I don't even remember where you can find this mask. Like, cause I know you have to find it, but I don't know where you can find it. It's been a while ever since I've, probably found went to the location, or maybe I don't know where I found the mask. But I'm gonna probably put Phil at a mean tier, I guess. The next mask that we have here is Rami. This gives you the ability to pretty much, it gives you more ammo in your guns. Like for a shotgun, it gives you 8 rounds instead of 6. For the AR, it gives you 32 instead of 24. And in a shotgun or in a double barrel, it gives you 3 instead of 2. Now I don't like using Rami. I'm fine with just the base ammo and all that stuff, but I don't know. It's okay. I'm gonna have to probably put Rami at a C tier. I think that's based off, I think the mask is supposed to be a camel or something like that. I also haven't completely forgot. I haven't really been naming like the animals I made in this mask, but I don't really think they matter. So, because I'm pretty sure we all know what they are. The next mask that we have here is Rasmus. Now, this is, if not to me, one of the most useless masks in Hotline Miami. I have to say this. Like Rasmus, it claims that it gives you an eye for secrets, but I highly doubt that. I've used Rasmus before, when I was trying to figure out the puzzle, that, if I say jacket, that biker, types into the thing or whatever. I've used that, and it doesn't tell me anything, it doesn't show me where it is, or maybe I'm just using a mask wrong or something like that. But Rasmus to me is, if not the most useless mask in the game. I'll even consider one of these guys down here a lot more useful. But fucking hell, Jones is more useful than Rasmus in my opinion. So anyways, so the next mask that we have here is Richard, the classic, the one mask that you first start off with when you first play Hotline Miami. Now I do know there's a lot of people out there who just main Richard, who doesn't really want to use any masks or whatever, and it's also the one mask that that Jacket is of course seen with the most. But just because of that, Richard's going at an S tier because, he is, nothing. Just plain simple, vanilla, all that stuff, dude. What more can you ask for? And I don't know. Maybe it's just of it being a classic and all that stuff, like a mask that's like a classic and all that stuff. Why not put an S tier? So the next mask that we have here is Rig. Now, Rig pretty much, it claims that you're a good shot, and I always thought that it would help with aiming. And I do know I used this mask when I was still fairly new at the game, where I still mostly use lock-ons to shoot enemies and all that stuff. And I always thought that it just gave you good aim. Like, I was like, oh, maybe just like the lock-ons, I mean, they already give you good aim and all that stuff. Or so I fucking thought at the time. But Rig, I think, from what I heard, it gives you the ability to pretty much one-shot enemies with any gun. Like, one shot from an AR, they're dead. Like, well, one shot from a shotgun, they're usually dead, unless all the pellets don't combine, all that stuff. But for, like, silence pistol, one shot they die, because it takes like 3 shots for someone to die from a fucking silence pistol. But I don't know, Rig would probably have to go at a C. I actually kind of like using Rig at times, but I don't know. I sometimes like to think that the mask is based off of Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead, mostly based off the name and how he's a pretty good shot with his Colt Python and all that stuff. So the next mask that we have here is Richter, and if not the last mask that gives you the ability to start off with the weapon, and that is a silenced Uzi. And it is the only way to get that weapon is to use Richter, and use the amount of ammo that it comes with the thing or whatever. Now, I actually like using Richter. I like using Richter on like more crowded levels like Assault, Hot and Heavy, Deadline, all that stuff. So Richter probably had to go in an A tier. So the next mask that we have here is Rufus. This gives you the ability to survive 1 bullet. Again, one of the most useless masks in the game, automatic D tier. No, D tier. I mean, as I said, like, you can already survive 1 bullet. Like, you get hit by a few pellets from a shotgun, it doesn't really kill you, and all that stuff. But I don't know, like, because hell, sometimes enemies, they'll just like, they'll turn around, especially with an AR, they'll just rapid fire towards your way and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't like using Rufus. I think I've only used it once, and I don't think it really helped me out all that well. The next mask that we have here is Ted. This gives you the ability to have dogs not kill you, pretty much. And I've used this mask, I think, on Full House, actually, chapter 5. I've used the mask, and I always keep forgetting, like, oh wait, I forgot dogs can kill me, so I can just fucking kill them or whatever. I actually like using Ted, and whenever I use Ted, I really like using the mask, so we're gonna put him at a B tier. Thank you. The next mask that we have here is Tony. This is pretty much the first Tony mask right here. It pretty much gives you the ability to one-shot enemies by punching, or like one-punch enemies pretty much. And as I said, in the second game, Tony as a character, it is similar to that, but it seemed like this one is like a little bit more simple. Like the ground executions, I think either one kick, one punch, or one head to the fucking one headbang to the fucking floor kills them. Instead of having to hit, fucking stomp their face in multiple times, it's just one time and all that stuff. So I like playing Tony. It's one of the other masks in the game where you can speed run levels very fast. I'm gonna probably put Tony at, let's put Tony at an A tier. The next mask that we have here is Willem. This gives you the ability to pretty much rip someone's throat out and steal their weapon. Now, I did not know this was the way, because I know I knew what the mask could do. It's just that every time I used it prior to the time I actually found out, like, it actually showed up to me, was I always thought that, like, okay, this mask is useless because it doesn't give me a weapon. But a few days ago, I actually found out, that of course it does its job when you rip someone's throat out. When you go up and execute someone that is standing up, rip the throat out, whatever. If anybody doesn't know what jacket does to those people, rips out their throat, takes out their weapon, whatever they have. Now Willem is okay, but I don't know. I don't see him fit enough to go up here. And the last mask that we have here is Zag. This gives you the ability to have your combo window extended for a shorter period of time, or for a slightly longer period of time. I don't know. I really like doing that or whatever. I have used Zag a few times, and every other time I use them, I suck. I'm not really all that great at Hotline Miami, but I absolutely love playing the game. But when it comes to Zag, I'm not good enough to use Zag. So for other people, he might go at it like an A or an S, but for me, he's going at a C. So that pretty much does it for this tier list right here. Now I know there's gonna be a lot of people whoever sees this video, I know there's gonna be a lot of people who have their own opinions on certain masks, especially for Zag, because to a lot of people, as I saw, some people, Zag is one of the best masks to use in the game, which I can understand if you're very good at doing combos and all that stuff, but I'm not all that great at doing combos in the game, especially, well, more in the first game. In the second game, I'm better at doing combos. But that pretty much does it for this video. This was my tier list on the masks of Hotline Miami 1. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And with that being said, also, any Hotline Miami fans watching this, feel free to leave your opinions on, you know, my mask tier list and the way you would probably rank those masks as well. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.